does. So I'm going to give everyone 30 seconds to share with us what is it exactly you do. Ladies first, so I'm going to start with Anjali. Go ahead.
Hi everyone. So I'm Anjali. My funeral company is the Life Celebrant. At Life Celebrant, we customize and personalize a funeral for the dearly departed. We believe in commemorating the life story of the person. So also one of the service that I'll be sharing a bit later will be our Showers of Love service, where we actually allow family members to participate in the final dressing and the makeup of the departed. And another service that I'll be sharing later on is about our Angel Star. So Angel Star, as the word suggests, is the caring for the departed, the babies. So I know it's a hard topic to talk about, but I do want to share that even though they are babies, they are children, it's important for us to send them off in a beautiful and a dignified farewell. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Anjali from the Life Celebrant. Now I'm going to
Yes.
yield my time to Hong Chai from Singapore Funeral Services. Hong Chai.
Hi everyone, my name is Hong Chai. I'm from Singapore Funeral Services. We've been serving families for the last 20 years. We are also a very premium brand, so-called. So we have been able to organize funerals for many families, customized to the needs, based on the budgets, and we empathize and care for the families that we serve. Very interesting project that our company is embarking on is Singapore's first fully automated columbarium, Gold Hill Memorial Centre. If we have time, I'll share a bit more about this new concept with everyone.
Thank you, Hong Chai. Richard.
Right. Good evening. My name is Richard. I'm the owner of the Probate Enterprise Private Limited, and what we do is that we actually give the public, the public the peace of mind that upon death, their will is done, that all the things is being mentioned, and also have a good rest. That basically you can rest assured that family will know what you have, and that they will not fight over your assets. Likewise, I also do the area of probate, means to say, after death, after funerals carry out, which is why I work with Anjali before, I work with Concha as well. To service their client, as in the after funeral services, which is we go to the court to apply the grant of probate or letter of administration for the proper transfer of the deceased asset rightfully to the beneficiaries. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. And Andy.
Last but not least, basically, hi guys, my name is Andy, and I run a team of claims specialists. I have two groups of people. One is a specialist who actually help people with all their planning services. And then, of course, I run a claims specialist team as well. So today, the topic that we're going to talk about will be my claims specialist team. We are the heroes behind, our three other guests here. All of their clients, right, they would actually face issues because people would generally buy policies from all over the whole place, from friends, from uncles, interchanges that they walk by, shopping centers, Now, none of these policies are bad, of course, they are all good policies, but the only problem is that when they pick up these policies, they do not know how these policies can work with one another. Now, insurance companies are in the business of paying claims, and they are never afraid to pay claims. But the important thing is for consumers to be able to understand the terms and conditions attached to each particular policy, and that's what my claims specialists do. They help people in times like this where there is very little time left, okay, and they help them to be able to consolidate everything, get everything right, and then to be able to ensure a smooth process in order to be able to get the payout to relieve themselves financially.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andy. I just want to give a shout out to more than 100 of you watching out there, specifically to Trina. Trina is my cousin, and she was the one that linked me up with Andy. So Trina, I know you're watching. I see you in the comments. Thank you for making this reality. All right. So remember, guys, got prizes at the end, and this is not some kuching kura prizes, some good prizes. $100 Yuan voucher to be given out. Put your questions for the panels in the comments below. The first part of it, I'm going to have a quick chit chat with all of them, ask some questions, do a quick interview. Subsequently, we will come to your questions in about 15 minutes or so. Now, panelists, the reason I chose to do this show is again because I lost someone very dear to me. And so I think what we should do is let's talk about things that we should do to prepare for the inevitability for death, things that we can do when it happens, because honestly, I don't think words cannot describe how you feel when something like that happens, right? So how do you brace yourself? And then subsequently, what are some things to look out for? Let's say after the funeral, after the last rites are done, what are some things to look out for, right? So let's look at that continuum of time, how to prepare, what happens during, and then after. Okay, so I want to start with during, right? When something happens very suddenly, the last thing on my mind when it happened, the last thing on my mind was to look for quotes, for someone to help me. I was lost,
That's right.
right? So Anjoli and Hong Chai, I want to ask you, if someone loses a loved one, whether ready, whether mentally prepared or suddenly, what should they do? Hong Chai, maybe I let you start.
I think, first of all, stay calm, don't panic. Reach out to a funeral director that you can trust. I will be there to advise, listen to the requirements of the family, and advise the family on what are available options, and try to work with the family to have a successful and smooth process through the whole event.
Now, Hong Chai, I want to ask you a follow-up question on this, right?
Mhm.
How many of us really know a funeral director? I didn't know a funeral director, right? I didn't have Hong Chai in my telephone before today, right? So how I'm not sure when you lose someone, you want to sit there and Google, right? So should you have prepared for this a long time ago? Should you go and know? Should you do your research? I mean, because at that point, you wouldn't want to get 3 quotes, right?
Okay, just to pitch, you can look for Association of Funeral Directors. We have reputable members on board the association. And from there, there's a whole list of members that could help you and give you professional advice.
I see. And is the first piece of advice generally non-obligatory? Meaning, like, if
Yes,
you call the first one, must you confirm use that particular person?
no. Usually,
Okay,
we'll give advice and help the family before they decide whether to engage our services.
okay. Anjoli, if someone loses someone suddenly, what will you advise?
I think the same advice as what Hong Chai has said. A lot of times I do advise, because I myself also have lost someone very suddenly. And perhaps you think that, yeah, being a funeral director, it is really helpful. Now, my father has sort of passed away, I would say suddenly, because we never expect that he will go. But he is a funeral director who didn't plan his funeral. So sort of woke me up in that moment, yes, that he didn't plan anything, he didn't do his will. So it really motivated me to make sure that we get all this prepared. And again, you are talking about the eventuality that may come, and we are not even, we don't have a expiry date. We don't know when it will be. So again, it is also good that some of the families that we serve, they probably have attended some of the funerals that they saw. So if you do have to attend, unfortunately, a funeral, it's always good to look at the services and see whether you sort of like the way they do it, the way they conduct, and then maybe keep a record that, oh, so and so's funeral I've attended. Maybe I need to get hold of who this funeral company is. At least in the time of needs, you can actually call. And I think more and more, I think Hong Chai will also agree that these few years there's more and more people doing pre-planning, where they are not afraid of this taboo topic and they actually want to know more before the eventuality happens. So I think it's always
That's
good to yeah, instead of it's true that a lot of times we hear people doing last minute Google search. But also if we can sort of know and prepare ourselves, I think then when the eventuality comes or suddenly we lose someone, we at least won't garang gabo, we will still be
Mm,
able to have the right
mm.
frame of mind, contact someone we trust.
I'm curious, right, Anjoli? I mean, is funeral directors, funeral service providers, is the industry quite homogeneous? I mean, or for example, or if you're of a certain religion or you speak a certain language, that you should look for certain types of support? I mean, how are yours? How do I, I want to buy shoes, for example. I get a sense of sports shoes where to buy, business shoes
Sure.
where to buy, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Funeral industry.
I think now we have quite a wide spectrum, and of course, different companies they serve different sort of religion as well. But of course, there are always funeral services that is more encompassing, where they serve a wider religion. So I think again, it's about yes, in the past people would just go to the death alley because no Google to do that, right? So they will have to come down to the death alley where they try to see which funeral company they can go for. But back then, it was difficult because information was not easily available. So they couldn't sort of look at the reviews or Facebook. But now, because everything is on the fingertip, so you can actually Google and say, funeral services in Singapore, and then read the reviews before you make a decision who to go for. So nowadays, people will look at reviews, the way I look at it, testimonials, in order to decide who to care for the departed loved ones.
All right. So Hong Chai and Anjali, I'm going to come back to you in just a while, right? I'm going to move time back a little bit because I like what Anjali and Hong Chai mentioned about pre-planning, right? In my case, I lost someone very suddenly, right? But in many cases, you get a sense of, maybe someone is sick, someone is not well, you have a bit of a runway, right? Richard and Andy, what are some best practices when it comes to preparing, for lack of a better word? Richard?
I was about to say Andy go first.
Andy, that's fine. Andy, whoever is ready.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I think pre-planning for funerals, for the the sad eventuality where a person walks out of life, encompasses a whole spectrum of things. But I think that in the one of the most important thing, the irony of insurance is such that many times we always hear people say that I should have done this particular thing. I should have bought this particular thing. I should have covered myself for this thing. And by the time you find that you need to make a statement like this, the truth is it's already too late. So part of the role as a claims specialist, right, is we try and educate the public in the process of you being every day busy with your life and getting on with your life and achieving the things you want to achieve. Right? It doesn't matter what you're looking for in life, but it can be material things, it can be more spiritual things. But at the end of the day, there are certain things that will actually hit a person. It can be in terms of critical illnesses, it can be in terms of all these things. So pre-planning takes, I think, in its most primary form, making sure that financially you yourself or your family will not be impacted to a great depth, and then after that, if something happens, then everybody starts to scramble. A lot of times people tell us things like, if anything happens to me, 让我死就算了, But the truth of the matter is that it doesn't happen this way. If something happens to a family member, everybody rallies around the person. You try and find a way to solve this problem for the person. Nobody's going to walk away and say that, you know what, okay, 好了，就让你死了, So pre-planning really, I think, in its most primary form, is to first make sure that you take the self-responsibility to, ensure that nobody gets impacted financially in an event like this.
So Andy, in a way,
yeah.
let me jump in. In a way, can you start planning too early? Or should you, when once you're sick, then you start planning?
Well, the going says it's never too late, right? But in this particular situation, I would say it's never too early. It's something that we need to plan early, and that's why I work with all of the panelists here, right, very strongly. Of course, when it reaches the hands of the funeral directors, right, that's kind of like whatever is done is already done now, So we make the best. My claim specialists, my team of claim specialists will actually make the best of what they have. and then we will advise them on the best possible ways to move forward. But when I work with Richard, who is the specialist in terms of will writing and probates, right, we actually take extra effort to ensure that the client understands the reason why they are doing things. We're not doing it for the sake of doing it. We are doing it and we want the customer to understand why.
Understand.
So we actually, that's why I work with a panel of specialists, right? Where they were actually, like it's funny that you mentioned the question about, in such an event, right? I won't have funeral directors on my handphone. I agree with that absolutely. So that's why we have a lot of panels of medical practitioners and service providers, right? So for people who know the claim specialist, you will be able to get what you need, the context that you need. Yeah.
Thank
Richard?
you. Thank you, Andy. Richard?
Well, like what most of you are saying, pre-planning is practically important. I mean, the very simple question, I mean, why do you buy insurance? Why not wait until you're about to get sick, then you buy insurance? Or wait until you're about to die, then you buy insurance? Right, then you save on the years of premium, right? But in reality, the same thing. I mean, it's not about planning ahead, especially when it comes to will. When it's writing a will itself is about who is eligible. The person that's eligible is not when you're rich or when you're poor, but when you have a sound mind. When you are not sound, you want to write will also cannot write. Now there's a Chinese saying that 给家人一个交代, right? How you give family members a notice in advance? Well, that is through writing a will. Will writing can be done much early. My youngest client is at the age of 23 years old, still single, and he already wrote his will. So it's not about how much you have. Because our wealth, we are well, but our wealth is like roller coaster, go up and down. So at what wealth should you reach before start thinking about will? You see? So will writing is about responsibility. Right? It's about for you.
I want to ask you a follow-up question about wills, right? Some people think it's a very complicated, very expensive process, right? And more importantly, they think that if I write this down, it's 不吉利 lah or unlucky and all of that. How would you respond to that?
Well, that is a misconception, an old way of thinking. But having a will is, if you understand the complication the family has to go through,
exactly,
then you will understand one piece of paper alone can resolve so many problems.
Exactly. Very right. Yeah. Very right. Now, to the 100 of you watching, this bears repeating what Richard just said. That one piece of paper, that will, right, can lead to so much less headache further down the line. Am I right, Richard?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, give me some examples, 1 or 2 examples of that, please.
Okay, you see, a will alone, not only can you indicate people you trust, to handle the estate for you, right? And handle estate means to say like clear off all the funeral expenses, the income tax, the outstanding bank loan, and then to manage your estate, pass it to the family members. So this person is called executor. You have to appoint an executor in your will. In terms of wealth, right, most people have more or less about same thing, property, right? Most of you have property, bank account, right? I'm sure you don't keep your cash under your pillow, right? You have insurance, right? You have shares, for example. For others, we have business. We are not rich, but easily 3 out or 4 or 5, right? But this is already, yeah. But in terms of asset, you can say inside the will, who you want to give it to. It's pretty straightforward. But apart from giving the asset wise, another thing about wills is very critical for those with children. Like my boys behind me.
Like the children behind you in the screen right now. Yeah.
Right. So
that's very nicely timed, Richard.
Yeah.
like
Okay,
to
Richard,
leave.
I think to sharpen the conversation, let me help sharpen the conversation a little bit, right? Richard, without a will, right? Without a will. With a will, you can explain, of course, executor, trusted person. Without a will, there's a difference between something called probate and something called letter of administration. Am I right?
Correct.
Yes.
Tell us the difference.
Without a will, you got to file letter of administration. It is so much costly, right? Easily $2,000 to $3,000 differences, and the time duration is easily roughly almost additional 6 months to 9 months,
Very
right?
good.
On the other hand, if
Nail
you
on
have
the
a
head.
will, right? If you have a will, the cost, the administration cost for grant of probate is so much cheaper, right? And the duration for us, we take within a month.
Okay. So
In
again,
other
to our viewers,
you can
what? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, Richard. Go ahead.
so within a month, I can help you to get the grant, and the grant is like golden key, right? Yeah, with this golden key, you can unlock those bank account that's frozen. You can go to
That's right.
insurance and make a claim. That's why you get. That's why we dive with Andy, the claim specialist, to do all these other claims, and that's how family can get hold of the asset, for the deceased, then pass on to them as soon as possible.
My friends watching today, that is the reason why you need to write a will. Okay? Because when something happens, it's the difference between A, 1 month administration or 9 months of waiting, right? Number one. Number two, clarity in terms of who gets what, right? And number three, cost, right? Like Richard said to you, a letter of administration is thousands more than a probate, right? So it is never too late. If you don't have yet done a will, especially if you have the money everywhere, assets everywhere, it's helpful to do a will. Okay, I'm going to come back to my panel again
In fact,
for. Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
In fact, Ricardo, just want to add on, right? In our dealings every day as a claim specialist, right? I have come across a few scenarios where, they actually give up on some of their rightful inheritance,
Yeah,
rightful
me.
things that they can claim from. Yeah, they
Yeah,
give up
I agree.
because
Yeah.
the process is so tiresome. It's
Correct.
draining, not just time wise, it's emotionally draining. And we have gone through, walked quite a number of customers through, and they just say, you know what, 算了, I don't want.
Correct. Exactly right. Exactly right. I have a check outstanding that says estate of my loved one, and I can't cash that check because the letter of administration is more expensive than the check. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it
Yes.
is. Right? Which is why I think it's so important to talk about this in a very practical, very pragmatic way. Right? And I hope this is useful information to all our viewers. Another piece of useful information I want to share with you, I now come back to the funeral directors. Both of you, I don't want this to sound too much like a sales pitch, but I've heard some of the interesting things that you are doing and you are offering, right? And I think it's worthwhile sharing, right? So I'm going to yield my time to Anjali. I know there are some very special things that you bring to the table. Can you share with us a bit more?
Yes, so we started a Showers of Love service in 2017. So Showers of Love service is still, fairly young in the industry, but yet we have so many families that we serve that has benefited greatly from it. So based on our Facebook review, they will always mention Showers of Love experience. So our Showers of Love experience is where we allow family members to participate in the final dressing and also the makeup and the hairdo of their loved ones. Because a
I
lot of
believe we have some
times,
photos, right? I believe we have some photos.
yes,
Maybe we put it up and then we have
yeah,
Anjali talk over it. Yep. Okay, go
yeah.
ahead.
This no, this is the angel star. Maybe we go to the showers of love.
Yeah.
Yes. So showers of love. This is where family members can actually participate in our spa service for their dearly departed. So our ladies team will be the one who will be bathing their loved ones, and then also doing facial for them, making sure that we use shampoo, conditioner, clean the hands, the fingernails especially, and then making sure throughout this whole bathing service, we actually make sure that we preserve the dignity of the loved ones. So nobody, the private parts are all covered at all times. And our showers of love personnel, right now we are only having ladies, the Showers of Love angels, who will be taking care of the departed. So you can see that family members, when we get them to participate in wiping the hands or even just wearing the shoes or dressing, the putting up the tie for the departed, is very cathartic, and it's also very therapeutic experience for them, where they can express their love language. Be it the physical touch or just words. I love you. I thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. So we started this service, and we have already received a lot of very positive feedback on how this service has actually helped in their grieving process. Yes. So this is
Thank
our
you.
Showers of Love service. Yes.
The other one?
The other one is a lot of times we do have services for our, in the past, whenever we talk about services for children, is something that a lot of people don't want to talk about. So children's funeral are usually done really chop chop, very quiet, hush hush, as if that person has no more significance anymore. So when we started Showers of Love, we also started Angel Star, where we allow the child to be placed at our Showers of Love service, where you will see that in the top right photo is actually our Misha. She's 6 years old, but Misha is someone that I always share, and mommy will be very happy if I talk about her here. So Misha is 6 years old, but listen to this. She planned her funeral with us. So when she knew her days are numbered, she actually planned everything that you see, the balloons, the outfit that she's wearing, the photograph that we put up, are all decided by her. I will share a link later on, where you can read more about Misha. So you can see that, even children, we want to make it very beautiful and very dignified. So for Misha, I did a funeral celebrant service where I talk about her life story. And one of the things I knew about her during my funeral celebrant was she actually had more atas taste than me. She doesn't like to go kopitiam. She only go to restaurants. So that's the thing that we want to help. Even for if you go to the next picture, for children, we even take care of fetus. So unborn babies, we want to let this message to go out to a lot of mothers, because a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers, they don't know that this service is available. So I want to, stress and also share that every single person has a significance in our life. So whether is it an unborn fetus, we still believe in giving them a dignified farewell. So this is what we did for one of the unborn fetus, where unfortunately there were some complications. So when we did this Angel Star service, you can see that what we are doing is to do the fingerprints, the handprints, and also the feet for the mom and the dad. So this is something that we do to have the family remember the significance of this Angel Star. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Anjali, we
you.
have to move on. Thank you for sharing that with us. Some really interesting services there. Hong Chai, I will also pass the time to you. You mentioned something about a new development.
Yes, we're developing a pilot project with the Singapore government. It's the Gold Hill Memorial Centre. It will be the first fully automated columbarium in Singapore. So what's the difference with automation? So let me just bring everyone back to the days in Singapore when most of the deaths are actually in burial grounds. So you have tombs and cemeteries. So when you go and visit your loved ones, it's actually your own private space, your landed property. And then we had a great push for cremation because of scarcity. And everybody went to HDB in columbariums on shelves. So with shelves, you have your highs and your lows and your left and right neighbors. So when you pay respect, you go one round. You don't have that kind of privacy. So with automation and technology, what we have done is we've given back privacy to bereaved families to come and pay respect. So you have your own private booth with the individual loved ones that you can book your timing online to come and visit them. We've also put in multimedia, like you can show pictures and videos of the loved ones to tell the story of the deceased, especially to the younger generation, to tell them the life story. It's much easier than just a porcelain black and white portrait photo that we have now. So these are some of the features that will be.
It is about time we have some sort of multimedia remembrance ability, right? I think in this day and age. Yeah.
These are some of the features that will be in our new development. So I welcome everybody to come visit us. It should be ready by end of this year.
Ready by end of this year. Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Hong Chai. Now let's jump into question and answer. The acid test of any good show, right, is how fast time passes, right? And before you know it, we've been talking for about 35 minutes already. So, and we've got a lot of questions. By the way, you qualify for the UN Sound voucher if you ask a question. I don't have time to go through all your questions, but keep your questions coming anyway in the comments below. Let's jump into Q&A. My first question is from Ian, right? And this is about price, right? This is about price. And like I said in my introduction, right, when it happens, right, the last thing on your mind is to go and negotiate price lah, go and ask for 3 quotes lah. So Ian's question is there some sort of moral code practice between funeral directors such that there is no overcharging of grieving families, especially during this very vulnerable time? How do we deal with price, quotations, money during this difficult time? Anjali?
So I think this part, when you look for a funeral director, definitely when he used this word code of conduct, definitely you want to find someone you trust. So that's why it's essential to understand, if you do have, I always say that we have a whole lifetime to plan for our funeral. So if I want to take control, I want to make sure that I trust a funeral director that has a good rating and also someone worthy, trustworthy in a way. So you may want to also look out to maybe their website, their Facebook review, and also the AFD. Just now Hong Chai mentioned the AFD, where these are the funeral directors that we are under the Association of the Funeral Directors. So when in terms of the price, again, it's about value. So I give you an example. Someone would buy a Singapore Airlines air ticket versus maybe a budget airline, maybe flying to Europe. There's always a difference in terms of the level of services. So again,
Sure.
price tag depends on the value that you want. So different companies have different values. So I think it makes a very important point to rather than be caught in a moment where you are panicking and you don't know, make this time to decide and see who you are comfortable to work with and who has different services that you would like for the funeral. So in
I'm
terms
curious.
of that,
I'm curious, Anjali. Do we
yes.
generally do your clients generally have conversations with you with regards to the final rites before it happens? For example, if the doctor says, like, left a month or left 2 weeks,
Yeah.
does that conversation already start?
Yes, actually, more and more people will do. Even during this COVID period, I have experienced more calls calling us to ask us, what is the new regulation, what is the new measures, what should I do? So when someone know their loved one has, a sort of a expiry date, usually what they'll do is they will call funeral directors, get quotation, so that they can
Mm,
prepare the services. So
mm,
yes, more
mm.
and more people are doing that, and I also encourage people to do this as well. So at least when eventuality come, you are not caught in a situation where, like you said, where got time to buy 3 coats? You won't even
Yep.
physically and mentally have that kind of mentality to go and search for 3 coats. To be honest.
Hong Chai, your quick jump in about price.
Yeah, I think it's very important for the funeral director to understand the family's budget and the dynamics and the requirements, and then give the best advice to the family, and then the family can decide from there how what kind of funeral wakes they want to hold.
Thank you. Andy, I've got a
So,
question for you.
yeah,
And this
I
question
was about
really.
to say,
Go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
I was about to say, right, that, especially during this period, right, we also have a lot of customers who, they have family members who are about to walk out of life. So what my claim specialist will do is that they will also have a discussion with the family members, understand their needs, and all these are important. The human language conversation is really important. So we have a conversation with them, we talk to them, and we understand what their needs are, what kind of things they expect. We have got a recent death. Half the family was torn in the middle. We have half of them not wanting anything because of his COVID, and then we got the other half who say that no, we really want to at least give a nice send off. So so this is what we do as claim specialists as well. And then after that, once we have a conversation with them, we direct them to the correct places, and then allow them to have more conversations. So that helps save time.
Andy, one of the questions here is from Fuji Yo, right? How do claim specialists work with insurance advisors to advise customers on potential claims? I'll put a bit of flavor into that question and say that, sometimes
Sure.
we buy insurance, buy here, buy there, buy here, buy there, buy until you don't know how many you have, right? Then how, right? I mean, some people will have a trusted sort of insurance advisor, right? But if not, then I come to someone like you.
Yep. Okay. So basically, right, I think it's good that you make mention, and thank you, Fuji, right? It was Fuji. Thank you, Fuji, for making that question as well. As claim specialists, right, we work on many different fronts. Just to make mention of it, it all starts with even simple things like a small accident, right? If let's say the person has got a small accident, the person would have policies bought from all over the whole places. They would have policies that is bought from life insurance companies, GI. Now, basically, right, what we do is we help them to navigate through this whole entire maze. Which policies should you claim first? If I have a company insurance, should I claim from the company insurance first? Let's say, for example, a hospitalization occurs. They have to battle between, do I file the e-claim first or do I claim it from my company insurance? And if it's from my shield plan, when did I buy the shield plan? Before a certain date, after a certain date, do I have riders attached to it? So all these things are, by the time the consumer understands all these things, they might as well be the agent themselves, So my claim specialists are fully licensed, and they will be able to advise people when things like this happen, even upon death as well. In death, right, they have got CPF to claim from, whether they make nominees or not. They've got company insurance. Some of them have got company employee benefits program, and then some of them have got their own personal. Some of the people may not realize that the first 150,000, they can actually, if they are the rightful claimant, they can just straight away submit in a claim, and this helps the family relieve them financially. All of us, the claim specialists, are also licensed. All right, so we also help in the procurement, in the buying. Before they actually purchase the policy, we also advise. We can also help them administer the policies, buy the policies for themselves, in terms of coverage, in terms of investment, in terms of retirement. These are what my claim specialists do. But in specifically working with a funeral,
I got a follow-up question
working
here.
with a funeral plan, Sure.
Sorry, finish up, Andy. Sorry, finish up.
Oh, in specifically working with the funeral places, funeral directors, and the will specialists, right? My claim specialists will help them when the customers reach the end, when they walk out of life. Yes, follow-up question.
Thank you, Andy. Now, listen, again, right, just now I spoke about the importance between having a will vis-a-vis not having a will. Now, the process, right, of arranging for someone's death, right, it goes far beyond the funeral, right? Whether the funeral is 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever religion, whatever rites you want to do, that is one big piece. The other big piece is the day after, right? Where you go to the bank, you go to look at the insurance policies, and if the insurance policies are in 5 different places, if you're talking about 5 different, options, you talk to so many things that need to be followed up. So that entire piece is also something, right, that services like our panelists can assist with, right? But I see a lot of value, honestly, right? Jamin's follow-up question is for you, Andy. How do I check if my loved one who has passed have any policies?
All right. When a family of a loved one is being referred over to us, right, we will have a conversation with them. We do have a SOP, a list of questions, right, that we will check with them, and then after that, right, if necessary, we will refer them to, say, Richard. Okay, and in some cases, maybe they might have properties overseas. We will refer them over to lawyers, and then if, let's say, it's simple things like they have local policies, sometimes we will help them to be able to determine what kind of policies that the loved one has.
All right.
So we will
Andy.
help them to consolidate all these policies, right? And then we will tell them which are the ones that they can immediately go forward and file a claim first. And then that it also depends on whether they have already written a will or they have not written a will. So it's very situational dependent.
Precisely, right? But trust me when I tell you, right, at that point, to have a professional guide you along is incredible, right? So we are very blessed that we have a very good agent to have serviced my family. So that lifted a huge stone off my shoulders, right? And I'm sure Andy and his team does very much the same thing. Richard, you're a very popular man. I got a lot of questions for you, but I don't think we can get through all of it, right? But let's get through a couple. Richard, how much does it cost to put a will together? That's the most basic question that's been asked.
Okay, to write a will, start from zero. Zero cost.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can take a will from Anjoli. I just copy, cut and paste. Zero. Or you can take a will from your neighbors and just cut and paste. That's why it's zero
Okay.
cost. In fact, you go to certain website, they can look for some sample will. Again, it's cut and paste. Start from zero. So
But
it's
is that
good to have.
enforceable? Is that enforceable if it's cut and paste, sign yourself, that kind? Valid?
That is the question.
Ah.
You won't know whether valid or not until the day you pass away. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So where the cost is concerned, right? Like what Anjali shared earlier, is about price is just a figure. What's more important is the value. All right. When I do a will for my client, I usually tell them this. Let's not talk about money first. All right. Because money wise, you can start from zero to as much as few hundred, few $1,000s. Right. But more importantly is your situation, has it been addressed in the will? Writing a will is about addressing things. It's not just a piece of paper that's simple, that put your name and who's the beneficiaries, but to address all the things that of your concern, of your family situation, being addressed in the will. Right? That is more critical. And another issue is to ensure that basically your wishes can be carried out and nobody can contest. What's the use? I mean, what's the use of writing a will and ended up people still contest your will? It defeats the purpose of having the will in the first place, right? So these are two principles I hold when I do will for my client.
I do want to answer. I do want to address the viewer's question a little bit more directly. And again, this is not like you said, a number story. But is it generally the case that if you have a lot more assets to split, it is a bit more expensive, right? Generally. And B, if you have a lot of children to split it on and then very complicated, here cut, there cut, here cut, there cut, it's a bit more expensive, generally.
Generally, the more things you mention in your will, it will be more expensive. Example, I have 10 properties. And everything I have go to Ricardo Trust.
Thank you.
Simple. It's very simple. Alternately, I have only one property, right? But in my will, I say, my property, how to split and how to hold I give more instruction. Then that one piece of will with only one property, it tends to be more expensive, right? So it depending on the complexity of the instructions.
I see.
Ricardo,
so that is yes. Please go ahead, Andy.
I would like to bring up to everybody's attention in what Richard has just mentioned. It is extremely important because in leaving behind your estate for your loved ones, right? Okay, your whole entire objective is to make their life simple, to be able to help them to maintain their lifestyle. Even if it's a simple lifestyle. But what happens, people don't realize, is that the purpose of going to a person who actually advises you on a will is that in the event that the person passes on, right? If you were to leave one whole lump sum to the dependents, I can tell you in a lot of situations, right, the dependent will finish using up the money in a short period of time. 5 years, 8 years, all right? He will suddenly have many friends, okay? And he will have suddenly many business ventures, and he will have a lot of ideas that comes along the way. And before you know it, right, all the money's gone. So part of our role is to make sure that in leaving behind this legacy, no matter how much is it, okay, 10,000 也好, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million 也好, to make sure that it lasts them at the appropriate time, that they can actually make use of this money effectively to help themselves.
Andy, since I've
And
got
that's
you,
the purpose of doing that.
there is a question from PK Noy, which is directly to you. How much does it cost to engage a claim specialist?
Okay, thank you for that question. We don't charge. The whole integrity of this whole platform, where I have panels of doctors, I have service providers, funeral directors, will planners, is because we have a huge base of customers, and these customers, right, I recognize a need, and what I do is I link everybody up, okay, and make sure that the service is that they require is being given to them, yeah, right, in its
Sure.
full whatever that is needed. So there is no charge for the services of a claim specialist.
Thank you, Andy. Now, listen, this conversation has flown by, and you know what? The viewership has maintained at about 100 people. That means that you guys are either very interesting or the topic has touched a raw nerve, right? So I thank the viewers for staying with us.
We are very good
But
looking.
you're very good looking. I love your maybe the orange background, right?
Like you.
But the point here is this, we can't continue running the show until 9:30, and then nobody can sleep, right? So we have to start wrapping it up. But I will ask my four panelists, right, before we go into the final audience interaction segment, which is we're going to give away those UNSL vouchers. I will ask each and every one of you one more time to wrap up your thoughts, right, in terms of what would be one piece of advice you would give with regards to death to our viewers out there. All right, what would be one piece of advice you would give with regards to death to our viewers out there? Hong Chai, we start with you. We go anti-clockwise and we end with Andy.
I think a funeral is a very important ceremony for the families to start the grieving process. It's a final chance for them to say goodbye to the loved ones, to celebrate and honor the memories of the loved ones. And everybody has a very special and unique story to tell. And this is the last chance for them to do that.
Thank you, Hong Chai.
Of course,
Richard?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Richard.
For my advice is this: don't be afraid to have a discussion. Now, after all discussion, there's no cost to it. At least you have an understanding. Then you know your position. Then you take precaution, right? And at least having the will done is better than none, right? I always have a tagline, and the tagline is: when there's a will, there's always a way. Yeah.
Nice one.
True.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good. All of you have taglines. Are very good. Very seasoned professional. But Richard, I mean, there was a question. I will just take a few more seconds at a time. One of my viewers are saying, how do you broach that kind of topic, right? Who wants to talk about death? You said have a dialogue, have a communication. So let's say you have elderly parents, right? How do you go about doing that conversation?
Well, there are two ways. One way is directly ask, why not have a discussion? Just have a discussion. I mean, 你没有办法拐弯抹角. Sometimes things like this you have to go direct. Direct ask to have a discussion with me. And second way is this: occasionally I do have those public workshop, public sharing. That's where they can come to us. They can attend the workshop, and that's where they can address their concern. And that's where I can answer their concerns, right?
Thank you.
So all these are sharing. Yeah.
Thank you. Anjali?
So my advice is, in this lifetime, we live with no regrets. So when our time is up, let's live with no regrets. So I think it's important, and today we have so many panelists where we come together. Rewriting is part of them, and one of the advice I always say: please don't give your funeral instruction in the will. All right. So this is something that's the reason why you need the funeral and the will to work together. And then of course, then comes in with EOG group, EOG, where they will help, to have this claim specialist to help us. I remember, I think the same situation as Ricardo. My father didn't leave much assets to us, and we have to pay the lawyer as well. So in the end, the amount of money is not a lot left. But if we today have, EOG to help to manage, I think that would have, back then it would have really solved a lot of headaches for us. So again, I want to leave this with live with no regrets and leave with no regrets.
Thank you. Beautifully done, Anjali. Andy?
I'm pressured because everybody have a little quotation of their own.
Yeah, the little tagline, right? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Basically, right. I think in regards to the subject of death, same with everything else that we do as claim specialists. My advice is you do not know what you do not know. You know. So the best way to do this, as you engage in your everyday life, you live a happy and fruitful life with your family. Okay, is to make sure that you speak with someone like myself, my team of claim specialists. We will actually help you navigate before things happen, when things happen, and after when things happen. So I think that's where the claim specialists come in. Just to touch on the question that the viewer has given, right? In many cases, my claim specialists have also been tasked the role of bringing up the subject with the elderly. So
Interesting.
in our process of advising on the kind of coverage that the person needs, okay, we actually are also being tasked to bring up the subject to the elderly, and that's what all of my claim specialists are trained for as well.
All right. Now with that, thank you, Andy. With that, let's move on to the final segment of our show today. And for the final segment, we'd like to keep it light, have a little bit of fun, right? We are going to give away our 3 prizes in a few moments time. But before that, we'd like to give more people an opportunity to win a prize. So what I have asked my panelists to do is, ultimately, this is the good health show, right? Even though our first episode is about death, right? And ultimately, life is more meaningful because there is the end point. And life is all about spending time with your loved ones, doing things that you love. So phase 2 is coming. I've asked my panelists to draw what they will do on Friday or on Saturday or this weekend once phase 2 comes, right? And I would like all the viewers to guess what they have drawn. I say again, they draw what they are going to do in phase 2. I would like all the viewers to guess. As long as you guess in the comments below, you stand a chance for the lucky draw. Guess wrongly, never mind. But as long as you comment, you get a chance for the lucky draw. Okay, director, we go one by one, okay? Andy, you draw already?
No, I haven't yet, because I didn't know that other than being a claim specialist expert, I have to be an artist as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Go. You start drawing. Who is ready? Who is ready?
I can go first.
Okay.
Ladies
Richard ready. Full screen. Full screen. Ivan, full screen. Yeah. Richard, let's go. Show me. All right, Richard, you will go to what will Richard go and do? Okay, more or less. Hold there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What will Richard do? In the comments below. By the way, you guess one can already. I don't need to guess all 4. Okay, all 4 you type to take too long. Okay, that's Richard. Next, Hong Chai, ready?
Yep.
All right, Hong Chai, come show me. Show me your picture. Full screen for Hong Chai.
Is it a bit too light?
Yeah, I think you might need. Can. Slowly. Yeah, slightly too light. Maybe you need to draw a bit harder. Okay. I see a tree. I see some human. And I see a duck. Is that a duck? I think it's a duck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, what is Hong Chai gonna do? What this weekend? Thank you, Hong Chai. Cut. Next, Ang Jo Lee, come show me. Show our viewers. Okay. Good. It has to be the lady that is the best artist among all of you. Guys. Yeah, okay, thank you, Ang Jolie. And Andy, what are you going to do?
Let me try and get
Andy,
it in perspective.
okay. Yeah, I like this one. Look like the cult gathering. The cult gathering to sacrifice someone
5
in the
people,
middle.
right? 7,
Hey, there are too many people. That one.
I don't have time to draw the correct number of people.
Yeah. Right. Everybody in the comments below, please let me know any activity that you saw in the picture, right? It doesn't have to be all 4. It can be Andy's, it can be Hong Chai's, it can be Richard's, it can be Ang Jolie's. Just one answer in the comments below. You qualify for the lucky draw. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to put your answer in the comments. And in these 60 seconds, I'm going to ask Ang Jolie about one of the prizes today, which is your sponsored book. Right. Tell me a bit more about the book. Anjali?
So I have a book. It's called "Dying to Meet You." It's actually a biography, but I also share about my experience being a funeral director and some of the, funerals that I've handled and how death. I always say that death is the master of my life. So actually, there's a lot of stories, through the death, through the funerals. I get to learn a lot. So I'm also someone who has experienced a lot of ups and downs. So, for instance, like writing a will, I wrote my will at 24 years old. I also was single then, didn't have a lot of assets, but because I didn't want to be a burden to my mother, having seen what my dad has left behind, which is nothing. So I didn't want to repeat that. So when I wrote about dying to meet you, I talk about funerals for even suicide, funerals that really touch me and make me learn. There are also topics about children, how children deal with death, how to have a honest conversation with them when their loved one pass away, whether Gong Gong pass away or Nai Nai pass away. How do you open up this kind of topics? So Dying to Meet You is the English. I will be giving the second edition. My second edition is coming out in 2 months' time. And then the Chinese book is 爱的告别, which is a translation for the second edition of Dying to Meet You. So these are the sponsored books. I hope whoever win the present, I will autograph. Give me the name, I'll autograph for you, and then I'll send it
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. By the way, all three winners today will receive both the English and the Mandarin edition of that show,
Yeah.
right? So we've got 6 books, 3 English, three Mandarin, and then we've got 3 prizes to give away. I'll tell you more about the prizes in just a while. Thank you, Anjali, for sponsoring that.
you.
Richard, by the way, is also sponsoring a free will writing for one lucky winner. Thank you very much, Richard. And Andy is sponsoring a $50 Yuan Sang voucher as well. So that's fantastic. Thank you very much. The prizes are coming your way soon. We're gonna cut the Q and the comments close, right? Close, comments close. Director, I need you to now put all the names into our lucky draw system. We need a few moments to do that. So, last question to my panelists. Last question. Today is called the Good Health Show, right? We spent the whole 1 hour talking about death. In fact, 1 hour, 5 minutes already. Let's talk a bit about health. How do the 4 of you keep fit? How do the 4 of you take care of your health? And I imagine, considering you guys are all in occupations that see a fair bit of health issues and also death, I imagine you do take care of your health. So you guys might be good to talk to. Hao Chai, how do you take care of your health?
I have to confess, I'm not very good at taking care of my own health. As a funeral director, we are on standby 24/7, 365 days. So it's a bit harder to plan for regular exercise.
I see. Thank you for being so honest, Hong Chai. Richard, how do you take care of your health?
I on the YouTube and do the 10 minutes exercise. I try to do it on a regular basis. Yeah.
So you on YouTube and then you follow the exercise.
Yeah. The 10 minutes
Very good.
without any equipment, I start jump, push up, things like this.
Wow. You are very up to date. I only recently started doing the YouTube type of exercises. Well done, Richard. Thank you. That was explain your youthful appearance. Andy, how do you keep fit?
Well, I'm 50-50. Together with them 24/7 on standby. My claim specialists, all of us are also 24/7 on standby. So we hardly really have time. But when we do, all right,
Yeah.
when we do have time, okay, which happens twice a week, my claim specialist and myself, right, what we do is we curate our own exercise, especially only for us and some of our customers who and friends and family who want to join us. What we will do is we will exercise together on Zoom. Last time we used to organize outside, but now of course in accordance to the government regulation, we cannot go out, so we do it on Zoom.
Very nice, very nice. I love how you and Hong Chai, right, turn my question about health into how hardworking the two of you are. Very good, very good. Yeah.
No, we didn't do it purposely.
No, but I know you guys are indeed very hardworking. Anjali, how do you?
Well, so it makes me feel like I'm not hardworking enough. I
No,
do
no, no.
exercise. I go to the gym. Actually I do salsa dancing is a way of my release also lah, because
Wow.
sometimes I get very stressed with work and when I go salsa dancing, I sort of switch off, and then go into another mode. It really helps me. But also one thing I realized, when you have a child, so I just have my baby is 7.5 months. I take it as an excuse that I need to bring her and bond with her. So I try to come back home. Now with circuit breaker, I spend a lot of time, but in the evening, I will go for a walk or run with her or skating with her. So if you see a woman with a pram skating in MBS or Gardens by the Bay, that's probably me. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
see.
I try to keep fit lah. If as much as I'm not so hardworking like them, sorry. No, but I think
No, lah, I
because
don't
of
think they are
the
mutually
yeah.
exclusive. Yeah, I don't think they are mutually exclusive. Yeah. All right, all
These
right. I
are a
think we are
bunch of
ready.
yeah, they are all very very hardworking people.
Yeah. Okay. No, I want to tell you that I have a viewer, Michael, who says, "Can we have part two of this topic?" So clearly, this has been a
Oh,
very popular, very important topic, and very useful for everyone viewing. Thank you very much for staying with us. It is time for the lucky draw. I got 3 prizes. Every spin, I'll tell you. Do we have graphics for the lucky draw, Ivan? Yes or no? No, okay, then I will just jump into the lucky draw. We got 3 prizes to give away. The first one is 2 books from Angjoli, the English version and the Chinese version. The first one is just 2 books. Let's go. All right, spin it. The winner of the 2 books, which is Dying to Meet You and 爱的告别, goes
oh.
to Bernard Chen. Very much,
Hi, I will
Bernard.
write a personal note for
Congratulations.
you, Bernard.
Well done. Congratulations. The
Yay,
next
Bernard!
prize.
Yay!
The next
He's very
prize
active
is
in
a
our forum, so
Oh, very good, very good. Congratulations, Bernard. The next prize is a $50 voucher, $50 Yu Yan Sang voucher sponsored by Adrenaline, plus the 2 wonderful books. That's our second prize. Here we go. $50 Yu Yan Sang voucher and the 2 books. Go. The winner goes to, congratulations, Vinny Yan. Well
congrats,
done.
Winnie.
Yay!
Congratulations, Vinny. Well done, well done, well done. All right. And last but not least, the top prize today, $50 Yuan Sang voucher sponsored by our presenting partner EOG, together with Will Writing by Richard and the 2 books. Wonderful top prize. Spin the wheel. Let's go. Congratulations to the winner of the top prize. You are. Go. Is it spinning? Not spinning. Gem.
Maybe it's Vinny again.
No, no. What's going on, guys? What's happening to my lucky draw system? Wow, top price, eh? Top price cannot jam. Anybody? Anybody? Give me an update. What's going on? Hi, Vern. Okay.
You know what I
Seems
think?
like there is some issue with the top price. Don't know what happened to the lucky draw system.
Vinny is actually a IT specialist.
I see, I see.
You all don't know only.
Right.
So she purposely jammed the system. Then she first prize also her.
Maybe. Ivan, you bring me back to the guest first. Bring me back to the guest while you fix it back end. Let me know what's going on. Eh? Yeah, okay. Ivan, you let me know once you are ready, okay, for that final lucky draw prize. So by the way, sorry, the lucky draw system on the top prize decided to jam, but I will take some time to tell you about a promo code. I know it's very odd, right, for a promo code to be on a show about death, right? But we've made arrangements with all of our partners here today. The promo code is EOG Health. All right, EOG Health. You can write to any of my panelists here today and inquire about their services. And with the promo code EOG Health, you'll be able to get very special rates from all 4 of them. Andy, thank you for arranging that on our behalf.
No worries.
Yeah. Ivan, are we ready?
Right, yeah.
Ready? Okay, wait. I think after the grand lucky draw, nobody will want to watch already. So we show them the social media
PSP
first.
again.
Yeah, show them the social media first. Do we have that? Ivan? Yeah, okay. So remember to follow the social media of all my wonderful panelists here today. EOG is on Facebook and Instagram, Singapore Funeral Services and Probate Enterprise on Facebook, and of course the Life Celebrant on both Instagram and Facebook. Okay, please follow them because I think they offer very essential services. We are ready. Let's go and give away our top prize.
Let's
Hope it works this
go.
time. Let's go. Top prize, $50 voucher. Book, will writing. Congratulations. Tan Yong Lin.
Yay.
Well done.
Yay!
Congratulations. Yong Lin. Well done. Well done. Thank you very much. You
Congratulations.
are a
Congrats.
winner. Yong Lin. Okay, bring us back. We are done with this wonderful, wonderful show. 1 hour, 15 minutes just flew by. I want to say a very big thank you to Anjoli, to Hong
Thank
Chai,
you.
to Richard,
Thank
and
you.
to Andy, my
Thank you.
presenting partner. I want to say a big thank you to Ivan, my director behind the scenes, Axel, who did the design, and Colin, who's been producing the Good Health Show. Remember, 2 more episodes coming your way every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Ultimately, during this difficult time, take care of yourself, take care of your health, both here and here. Right? To my viewers, thank you for staying with us all the way to the end. There are almost 75 of you still watching. This weekend is Father's Day. I lost my dad a few months ago. So wherever you're watching from, Dad, from above, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night.
Father's Day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you,
night.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.